Tony, I want to be your backdoor man. Let me break on through.
Hey, Jim Morrison's in the house.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Trailside Dukes. Thanks for being here with us. Lots to talk about. People are... Go ahead.
Well, I don't think we should overpass the fact that you started out as Jim Morrison.
Oh, yeah. I was feeling it. I was feeling kind of Doorsy this afternoon.
I noticed. You were talking about you wanted to be my backdoor man.
It's always good to get a laugh.
Okay.
When we were in high school, it reminded me of being in high school, where some people locally here know Melody Melton as a
superstar educator.
Yes,
Melody Melton,
a legend of teaching kids how to speak in front of audiences,
and a great person. Good.
Yes. Yep. But in her class, we had something we had to do. One of the speeches we had to do was you picked a historical person and give clues to the class while you were up in front of the class, and they had to try to guess who you were kind of by the end of your speech.
Yeah. And
I ended up being, I chose Jim Morrison.
Did people get it?
No, not at all. Nobody did. I even had a doorknob hanging from my neck, the doors, because, that was kind of
clever.
I was trying to give them hints.
And they couldn't get it, dang it.
Nobody could get, they wouldn't let me sing, so I didn't sing.
Oh, I don't blame you.
I just gave historical facts about Jim and the Doors and stuff. So.
Okay.
But I'll never forget that.
Chad Odenthal wasn't in that class because he's a big Doors fan.
He would have, if he was, he would have guessed it probably, huh?
He would have got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the mailbag has been overflowing this holiday season.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of mail.
Should we read off one of the first ones we've got to kick off the show?
We probably only have time for one or two, eh?
Let's just do it. Let's open one of the latest ones here.
So it's our friend Nick, and he says,
"Oh yeah, a frequent writer."
Yep, dear Trailside Dukers, here's another email from your favorite Vikings fan, and I think he means is it Minnesota?
The Minnesota.
Oh yeah, not Coeur d'Alene. I wanted to thank you for extending the time talking about the 9-2 Minnesota Vikings. Are they 9-2?
You're welcome, Nick.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I try to get some good stuff in there for you because I know it makes your nipples hard when we talk about the Vikes.
He does do that.
He does the skull chant in his tighty whities too.
Right. Yes, he does. In the living room. He admitted that, actually.
Right.
Couple of quick points. Number one, you forgot to mention the captain of the Love Boat,
the Love Boat captain,
Culpepper. We were talking about great Vikings quarterbacks.
That's right, and you said Tarkenton.
He's the only one I can think of. But I guess it was Dante, because as Nick is referred to, he did get busted with, I think even Randy Moss was on that houseboat in Minnesota.
Uh-oh.
They had all kinds of shenanigans going on that houseboat.
Houseboat in Minnesota. You don't hear that much.
I know. Yeah. Well,
all right. What's his second point he wanted to make?
Well, I was, making the fact that like Brett Favre is following. I even saw some media on it today.
And I called it. Did I not call it? Not that it's happened, but I said, hey, what about Rodgers going to Minnesota?
Brett Favre, he went to the Jets, and then he went from the Jets to Minnesota. And, the Vikings are looking for a quarterback. I don't know who their quarterback is right now. But,
you keep saying that.
But I'm sure Rodgers will end up in Minnesota for sure.
Well, he says 0 chance Rodgers will be in Minnesota. He'll be working for RFK, going around the U.S. telling folks that modern medicine is a hoax.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Rodgers.
Look at this. Nick's being nice. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be well.
Yep.
No,
nice
thanks, Nick. Thanks for writing in, buddy. Thanks for being nice this time.
Yep.
Jeez.
That's fun.
Should we stick with the NFL and talk maybe some power ranks as we're kind of getting into the closer to the postseason here? People are fighting for their lives and trying to get into the dance, so to say.
So power rankings, right?
Okay.
Detroit's at the top.
10-1.
Detroit's good.
Yep.
Number 2, Bills, 9-2.
I still think they're going to win everything. I think they're going to win the whole thing.
They're good.
Yep.
Number 3, Philly, and they've jumped up a little bit. Philly's looking good, man. I mean,
really?
Barkley and all that stuff, and their defense
so.
is really good. Their offense is really good.
Okay, yeah.
Next is the new New England Patriots, the Kansas City
Oh,
Chiefs.
jeez.
Yeah,
10-1.
They're winning games like barely by like a Jim Morrison hair.
But they're not like playing super big teams where they're barely winning these, right?
You know, it's hard to cheer for them.
I mean,
when
they
missed
a missed field goal or something.
But did you see that run Mahomes made to get him into field goal position to win the game? Like, he just pulls things
he
out
can
of
scamper.
He pulls things out of his butt, whether it's a throw or a run. You got to respect the fact that he is a gamer and a winner. And sometimes you don't have to have the fancy numbers to win.
You just got to come up with the play.
Yep. Number 5, Baltimore.
Ravens have been hot.
They looked good against the Chargers the other night.
Yep.
That was Harbaugh versus Harbaugh.
The brothers.
Yeah.
The battle of the brothers.
I saw some pregame pictures. They looked pretty funny. They were like making fun of each other's biceps and stuff. They looked like just two brothers.
That's
you know
cool.
What I mean? Super
That's
cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Third time they've played each other. They're the only two brothers to ever have coached against each other in the NFL, and they've done it 3 times.
Wow.
Yep. So then you got that.
Team. Ping ping. 9-2 Minnesota Vikings.
You got Nick's team
at 6.
But right behind them.
Oh.
The Packers right behind them. You know what I mean? So I don't think we need to go through all of them. Steelers,
Chargers are next.
Broncos
the Broncos sitting at 10.
I told
at the
everybody,
10 spot. 7-5.
Bo Nix is a good quarterback.
Wow.
He was really good. I'm surprised that he didn't get drafted higher, but good for the Broncos. And he seems to be working in that system with Peyton, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's good. Top 10. That's
10.
good.
Top 10. We can't
and the
talk
rest,
about them all.
There's a cluster of 7 and 5 teams and stuff like that are fighting for playoff spots. So that's a good spot to stop, I think.
Yep, fun things.
What about NHL? We haven't talked NHL in a while, right?
Dude, let's talk some NHL. Okay, so I
just want to go with some of the top teams in the division as the season's been starting.
So in the Central, right? You got Winnipeg Jets, and they're looking pretty good. 18-4 at the top, Central Division. You know, right behind them.
They were
Minnesota.
tough last year too.
The Stars are really good. Avalanche are good. You know what I mean? They're more around that 500. Hey, Utah.
Utah started off hot. Utah started off like 5-0 or something, and then they just kind of been tanking since. But
what's the logic why they didn't get a name? They're just called Utah.
It's like the hockey club, Utah Hockey Club.
That's going to be their name.
That's it, Utah. It's Utah. Name. Utah Hockey Club.
That's a terrible name.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's too hard to try to mix something up with the Jazz or something. Maybe they could have been.
Do you know why
the Doors?
Are you going to do that all night?
No, I'll stop.
Do you know why
Utah Doors opening the door for your back door?
Okay, I'm just going to talk to myself. Do you know why the wind always blows in Idaho?
Because the door is.
Because Utah sucks, and so does your singing. Pacific, Golden Knights, 14-6. Flames right behind them. I love those underdog Flames. They got a bunch of no names.
Dude, the Flames are good this year.
They're winning games just out of being.
They're good.
Tough.
I don't know if they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but they're good.
Well, maybe you're a trade or two away. You never know.
Yeah.
So let's jump to the other side. The Leafs, 13-6. You know, there's a lot of Toronto people that would love to see a Maple Leafs Stanley Cup. That's been decades.
I like the Leafs.
Yep. Then you got the Panthers, the Lightning.
Oh, man, I thought the Red Wings would be doing better.
Yeah, you like the Red Wings.
I've always liked the Red Wings.
Okay. Canadians at the bottom. That's
Habbies.
There's a lot of unhappy people in Montreal. Yep. And in the Metropolitan, you got the Devils, 15-7, Hurricanes, Capitals. You know, Rangers.
Surprised that the Penguins are running out the bottom there at 7-12.
Yeah,
they've had a tough go this year.
Yeah, so we'll keep pace with what's going on in the NHL. Go Flames, baby! How are you thinking about your Kraken?
I don't know. I think
what?
I don't know. Here's the thing. I never will watch their games because when I do decide to watch their game, they lose. So I just don't watch them.
Yeah, you should watch them then. You make them lose.
Yeah.
Are you doing the Jim Morrison thing when you're watching the games?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. I don't watch the games.
Yeah, you don't watch them.
So.
Right.
So, No, I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna end up. I would love it if they could make it into the playoffs. That's the hope. I mean, they've got a good defense now. Yeah. They made some trades and some moves in the offseason to get a bolster their defense, which has worked. But then they have no scoring power, and they haven't been like, they'll get 2 or 3 goals a game maybe or something.
They're 11-10, so they're in that 500 range.
Yeah, they are. The season's still young, right? I mean, these guys play until like April.
For sure.
Right? And it's only end of November.
Lots of room.
Yeah.
Lots of time. Okay. What do we got next, Corey?
We got
back into football?
Yeah, some college football. We got the FCS schedule is out. And basically, their playoff system's ready to go. So it's ready to get going. And
was I pulling that up?
No, I think I have it right there. So
you got it.
Yeah,
just in your mind.
Well, what was really cool is there's 4 Big Sky teams that are in it.
Super cool.
You got Montana State for number 1 seed. So that's pretty exciting because usually you see one of the Dakotas get it, right?
Dude, they went 11-0, undefeated in the Big Sky, and beat some big teams in their out-of-conference games. And, I watched some of that Montana State, the Cat Grizz game.
Yeah,
and,
big game.
Montana State looks really good.
Yeah.
Yep. And I agree with Coach Holgate when he was talking about, like, Montana's quarterback, although I think they went to the quarterback that he liked.
Oh, really?
But, he's okay. He's all right. They're just going to have to cinch up their defense. Like, holy moly.
I'm just hoping a Big Sky team wins it, right? I'm just partial to the Big Sky. I'd love it if Montana State could run the table and
it'd be cool.
Beat one of those, Jackrabbit teams
for sure.
Bison teams, from North Dakota.
Yeah, those guys have been winning a lot.
So
take one from
so
Vandals though.
Vandals, number 8.
Vandal Nation.
They get a bye first round.
Big time. They're good.
There we go, Idaho.
Their quarterback's good. Their defense is good. They're making plays. Number 8, They get a bye and then host a home game. The only unfortunate thing for the Vandals is the road to the championship goes through Bozeman.
Yep, they're on the same side of that bracket as Montana State.
That didn't work out too well for them last time.
But you know what Eck will say? Eck will say, hey, anybody, anywhere, we'll go.
I thought you were going to say, pass me a cheeseburger.
No.
Do you think Eck eats a few cheeseburgers?
I
think he's had a couple.
He probably knows a good one when he sees it.
Yeah, I mean, Moscow's got some fun places to eat, for sure. Why not?
Number 14 is the Grizzlies.
Yep.
So Montana gets in there.
Yep.
So they'll have a first-round game, and then also NAU gets in.
Yeah, they kind of
Northern
snuck
Arizona,
in from nowhere.
The Lumberjacks.
Yeah, they snuck in from nowhere.
Yeah, so they get in there. They're not ranked or anything or seeded, but kind of cool to see them get in to play a game. So,
dude, there's a lot of cool places to play college football. Like Helena was a great place for Jack to land. But mountain biking and skiing. NAU's in a very cool
Flagstaff.
place. Flagstaff's a cool place.
Northern Arizona, really cool place. Drive through there all twice a year.
Okay, go Big Sky teams. Let's go.
Yeah, awesome. What about the NAIA? Do you want to throw out some of the teams that made it in there? And
let's pull out the old schedule here and see what's going on because they already had their first week of playoffs. None of the Frontier Conference teams had to play in the first round because they were ranked high enough.
Pretty high.
But the games that are going on this week, you got Montana Tech playing Northwestern Iowa at home. And all those Iowa schools are really
There's a
good.
lot of them, that get in there.
A lot of NAIA colleges in Iowa. So, they're going to go into Butte, and I predict beat them. Why not?
Nice.
Yeah, you can't cheer for Butte. No, nothing good there.
Wasn't there a team
Montana
named Friends or something?
Yeah, well, Montana Western is playing Dickinson State, North Dakota, and they're really good. They beat Montana Tech the first round last year. And looking at some of these other games, Corey, one of them kind of stood out to you and I. Now here it is, number 2 Grandview, which we played them Jack's sophomore year. They're pretty good, but they play number 16 Friends.
That's what it's called, Friends.
The school's called Friends.
Friends, and out of Kansas.
Yeah. That doesn't sound too like football-wise, like, hey, we're
playing the Friends.
We're the mighty Friends.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure they have fun with it. Right?
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
They got to.
Right.
You have to. Like, you got to have something.
Yes.
And we're not your friends.
Yeah, I know. Wild and Willie Steph.
Not so friends. Bad friends.
Yeah, we'll keep track, see what's going on in the NAI playoffs.
Yeah. I'm not your friend.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
What'd you do this past weekend?
Well, I had a tennis tournament.
Nice.
And then went up with...
Did you have any refs?
No.
Okay.
No, lost in the semis to a couple of good college kids. It was fine. I know the guys. They played on...
They beat you fair and square, eh?
Yep.
Did you get mad? Throw your racket?
I did, actually. I did at the end of the first set.
On a bad call?
No.
Well, you guys...
I missed a couple of volleys.
You don't have a ref to make a call. You guys make your own calls.
Right. Yeah. No, I missed a couple of volleys near the end, a tight first set, and I just threw my racket down at the end of the first set. Yeah. Mad. I was pissed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that work for you?
Yeah, you didn't know. You weren't guessing that I threw. Yeah, I got mad.
Did it work for you? Did you fire yourself up?
I mean, I just switched rackets and then played. But we lost the second set, so we were out. And then my Sunday was open because of it, since we weren't playing in the championship.
Okay.
So the boys gave me a ski report, and Silver opened this last weekend, and we hit it Sunday, and it was awesome.
That's what I heard.
Probably one of the best opening days I've ever had for myself. So
coverage was
was awesome. We were skiing powder. I mean, we were powder skiing before Thanksgiving, which hardly ever happens, and it was great. I mean, it was phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, super good.
You didn't hit any trees?
I hit one little stump, but it was because I went into this little shot called Hammy's Delight. But you got to be careful going through there any time of the year. There's just some stump kind of thing. So it wasn't a rock, but I hit that, and then the rest of the day I was fine, and that was on my second run, so I was good.
Got the old legs out.
Yeah,
worked
got
them
the
a
ski
little
legs.
bit.
We almost put up 20K in some vert.
Were you tired?
I was pretty tired near the end of the
Legs
day.
were burnt?
Yeah, they weren't toast, no, but they were a little fatigued.
Okay, well that's because you're in such good shape and you're a mountain biker.
Yeah, that stuff helps.
I
mean, that stuff helps, but just like anything, you're not gonna get better, or your body isn't gonna feel as good unless you keep doing it. Yeah. So we gotta get our ski legs.
There you go, baby.
But awesome first day.
Yeah.
Lots of places opened around.
Dude,
the
I
Northwest.
mountain biked Beacon on Sunday. It was
and you went last night over at Canfield and talked about how great it was.
For how wet it's been, the soil hasn't been muddy at all. Soaked it right up, and it's been good. Although it's gonna fade away here anytime now. The snow's gonna come. Time to get the fat bike out.
It's right around that transition stage.
Right there, baby.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to do a snow dance? Could you show the listeners your snow dance?
Maybe the snow was. I don't think I needed a snow dance. I think it was.
You confident
it
that
just
we're gonna
it
get
just
a lot
happened
of snow?
when I chucked my racket down on the ground that fateful evening. It just brought the weather with it.
Bounce back in your hand like Thor?
No, I don't. To properly throw your racket and not have it cause destruction to the racket, you want to throw the racket face down on the ground, flat. So if you take it, throw it down flat. So it.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
You were disciplined enough, even when you were mad, that you
can take it by the throat and chuck it and make sure it lands flat to bounce off the ground all as one piece. So
nice.
You can. Some guys will take it and just chuck their racket straight down, like tomahawk it, and it'll hit the head. The head of the racket will hit the ground and bounce back up in their hand. Oh, yeah. But that could just split your frame right there. And
right there. All over.
Rackets are expensive now.
Not cheap.
Right.
Okay. Now, you said you were going to give the listeners a little insight into your snow dance.
No, I don't have one.
Seriously?
No, I don't. No. Do you have one?
No.
Do you do?
No.
I don't believe you.
No.
Okay.
I want to ride my bike as much as I can, although I know we need snowpack and skiing and rec, and next summer we want a lot of snow.
You need to be out there with your.
So I'm good with it. If it dumps,
Rogers
it dumps.
jersey.
Yep. Oh yeah, I like to ski with my Rogers jersey. I got to get a new one. Jordan Love, baby. It's the Love era.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about we go into some I'm mad?
I think we should.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Now, didn't we get like an email?
We did.
Okay.
Do you want me to read this one, or do you want to read it this time?
No,
Because
you read it.
last time you got to read one for the very first time.
Yeah, you let me read one.
So it's okay if I read this?
Well, maybe.
Do you want? Can you read that?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So this one today, Tony, comes from somebody that should be mad.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. He wrote into the show. It's Daniel Jones, the former New York Giant.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So he says, "Hey there, Dukers. Daniel Jones here, and I'm finally mad. I've done nothing but try to help my team win week in and week out. I've tried to keep a good face and hold my head high even when we are losing. And there has been a lot of losing."
Oh, the Giants are bad.
Yeah, they are.
What are you going to do?
So he says here, he goes, this was news to me. In the span of 48 hours, the Giants benched me. Then they made me a quarterback for scout safety in practice. I get mocked on ESPN. Then the Giants call ESPN to complain. And then I get mocked even more by ESPN. And then just today I get released. He says, whatever, I'm out of that dump and looking forward to being a free man while they keep being a losing franchise. Love you guys. Daniel.
Dude, sometimes a quarterback's in a system and it's been dysfunctional for a while and he gets picked up by somebody. I would be surprised if nobody picks him up this year with an possible injury or
right.
Just put him on your team, you know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah. Just an unfortunate situation. I don't really know much about their team, but you never saw a lot of emotion from the guy, and it almost, if you could read into it, to me, it just seems like he wasn't happy there, even though they were paying him a bunch, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, he just
and I don't know if it's really his, if that's a tough thing about the position. They get a lot of blame, when things aren't going well.
You're the man when you're winning, and when you're not, pretty tough.
Yep. Yeah. So
well, I don't want to make fun of Daniel. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Whatever. Good luck to you, man. Jump out of the Giants organization.
Yeah. We'll see. I think they'll still have a tough time.
Dude, the Dolphins should pick him up.
I would take him as a backup, I think.
Dude, they should put him in right as the starter because Tua's
been lighting it up the last couple weeks.
Yeah, dude, I'm still worried about Tua's head.
Are you mad about anything this week?
I am.
Wow, back-to-back weeks that
Corey, let me show you this.
Perka has been mad.
Here you go, hold this up.
What do we got here?
Oh, I'm going to tell a good story.
You're mad about this?
You see this sign, Corey?
I do. Make sure.
Pretty fun sign, right? Okay. Let's put it back. Jack Perka, whatever. So here's the story of the season, right? Like with me bringing that sign, Justin and I bring that sign to all the games, home and away, and hang it up on a fence somewhere, in the stands, this and that. And so at that Tech game, before the game,
this is gonna be good.
I walked down and the visitors, they only have one side, like they don't have stands on both sides. So the visitors sit on the same side as the home, but they give you like the far section, right?
Really?
So I go right in front and hang it up in front of the visitors side, this and that, and I go up and start watching the game. We drive it down, score 7-0. Everybody's happy, and I look down, and the sign's on the ground. I thought, well, the wind maybe, because it was windy, it was cold.
You weren't sure how it got down.
Yeah, I thought it came loose, whatever. So, I don't know, it was maybe in between quarters. I go back down there, and I'm putting it back up, and there must have been a bunch of alumni that were invited to be hanging out down by the sidelines. It looked like there was about 10, 15, dudes in jeans and stuff.
Like Tech alumni?
Yep. They looked like they were in the mid-20s, possibly older, whatever. But as I'm hanging this up, one dude looks at me and goes, "Hey, you hang that back up, I'll just cut it down again." And I was like, "What?" I was kind of like, this guy is going over to a sign in front of our stands and cutting it down. You know what I mean? And I was just taken back. So I gave him some choice words. You know what I mean? I was mad.
Really? What did you say?
I didn't go crazy. I didn't get mad.
Give us a little taste.
Didn't get mad, but, this was an angry dude. And so, I'm like, whatever. take the sign. I'll go hang it up a little higher where he can't reach it. You know what I mean? I'd love to see him reach over. But anyways, as I'm walking up, all of a sudden this big figure comes up in my face. He looked like a WWE wrestler.
It was the guy.
Bald guy, and he's like, "Hey, what are you jawing at my son for?" I was like, "Oh, okay. This is your son that's, jerk number one."
This is how they do things in Montana, Tony.
Well, in Butte, they do things even differently.
They'll ask questions and just start throwing fists.
So whatever. Big dude, 6'4", and he's in my grill. He's calling me a bitch. He's calling me all kinds of things. He's lost his mind. And his breath of terrible whiskey. Like, I don't even, the guy didn't, even have a good choice to have, like, good taste in whiskey. It was terrible. But he's right in my grill. He's mad because I'm jawing at his son, who was, a-hole number one.
He was mostly John to you, it sounded like.
Oh, tons. And then dad is a-hole number two, and he's in my face. And what was funny is it was right in front of our fans. So the fans, like a bunch of college kids, are cheering. They're like, "Give us a sign, give it." So I just turned away from Ding Dong and, held the sign up, and the fans are cheering. I'm cheering.
Cool. That's kind of cool.
Walked up in the stands, gave him the sign. And as I'm walking back down, like 4 policemen are ushering Ding Dong number 2 away. I wish they had gone down on the field and taken Ding Dong number 1. But yeah, it was, you know what I mean? Like it is amazing. Like, I'm all for rivalries. Tech's a big rivalry. Someday we'll talk about best rivalries, right? Yeah. Like in sports, college, pro, whatever. Big rivalry game. But, I've talked to parents, and this one couple knows the president of Butte and has talked to him about just like, they go way past the beyond of like, being cool. You can like hate your rival team.
But there's a respect level too that maybe should be there.
The fans slit Carroll tires in the parking lot.
Wow.
Like, I had to stop some college boys a couple years ago at a game there. And like they were like cursing at like Carroll moms and Carroll like girls walking by, like, you know what I mean? And I went up to him and said, "Dudes, what are you doing? Like, you're calling my wife, this name, that name, because she's got a Carroll jacket and her son plays for the team." And they backed down right away. They were like, "Well, we're sorry, man. Here's a beer," or whatever. And I said, "Sure, I'll take a beer." But just to, why not?
Hey, now we're friends.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But you know what I mean? Like, the president told friends of ours, like, he basically throwing his hands up. Like, saying like, "I can't control the fans and this and that." And I call bull crap on that.
He's got some authority to throw down there.
I call
like,
bull
"Hey,
crap.
if you do this, you're out of here," or something. Dude, right?
You got people cutting signs down. You got donkey number 2, coming into a fan's face and yelling at him and this and that. Like, hey, and thankfully for the police, right? And those Butte police were really good guys. They came back and talked to me later and had a good conversation with them, and good guys. I ran into the former head coach of Montana Tech and said, "Hey, Coach Green, I'm a big fan of yours." They've named the field after him. If you ever get a chance to YouTube,
it's a cool field.
If you ever get a chance to YouTube Coach Green's, like, this guy was a encyclopedia of just having one-liners as a football coach. So I'm a big fan of his. Super funny. Talk to him at halftime. You know what I mean? It's not like Butte is kind of a cool town for mountain biking. It's in a cool area. And I know there's good people there. They got a history of like Irish immigrants, you know, the history in that area. But the culture that they have right there it's bad. Yeah, and I was mad. Like, dude, don't cut down Jack Perkis' sign. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Wow.
I know.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Awesome. Well, I think we about covered everything, so we can wrap this baby up and put a bow on it.
I think we can.
Hey, if you guys like what you're hearing, definitely like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on all our stuff. Send us an email. We've been getting a bunch. We're trying to read them all. Mm-hmm. You can email us at trailsidedukes@gmail.com. And then also tell them about the merch, Tony.
Got it on, man.
We got there.
Trailside Dukes, let's go.
One of the classic, comfortable T-shirts that you can order from our
Christmas is coming up.
Shopping site.
Get some fun stuff.
Make sure you check out the description. The links are in there. You can go right to the shop and get the fun stuff for that special someone.
I got you something special, Corey.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm not saying.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, until then, keep donkey number 2 at bay and keep your sticks on the ice so nobody gets hurt, eh?
That's right, baby.